What up everybody, gentlemen, Jake here. Welcome to part 18 to What If Deku Could Use Haki. And now, let's get to the intro.
I'm not the one you wanna fuck with. Late nights messing up my sleep, so I'm flustered. Taking out aggression with my pen because I trust it. Right in front of get myself a lamb color cuss for the game. Leave him hanging by his chain. Click bang, feeling rage, feeling fire in my brain, feeling insane. And it's slowly feeling flames will be fine from my brain, bringing more free no glory.
Okay guys, wow, part 18. Oh my god, this is the basically the biggest and the longest series I've ever done on my channel. And yeah, I think it's getting pretty close to the end, because the provisional licensing exam is done. The only thing that is left is basically introducing the class 1A with the big three of UA. And I'm sorry if you guys really didn't like the previous video. I said basically a lot, and I also put like a little animation in front of it to saying like, oh, tell me in the comments below how many times I said basically. If you guys didn't notice that, go to the previous video and tell me how many times I said basically. And in this what if series, I'm probably in this video, I probably won't say basically that much. I already said it like 10 times already, but who cares? Actually, there is a little more things that I need to tell you guys. The Bakugo and Deku fight is also gonna happen, is because nothing really happened between them. The only thing that Deku actually introduced to him is that he suddenly got stronger, and basically he introduced Haki to him. And he also needs to get his emotions and angers in check, because he needs to fight, and that's the only way he knows how to keep his anger and emotion check. Because the only reason All Might basically retired after fighting All For One is because of him. Even if he got this power, which is called Haki, with armament Haki, he still wasn't strong enough to basically protect himself, and All Might had to protect him. And in the end, he ended up retiring because of Bakugo. So Bakugo really feels angry and needs to basically talk to someone, and the only person who he can talk to is Deku, because he's his friend and he's the only person who understands him the most. So he's the only one who can actually he's the only person who can rely on, which is Deku. So after the provisional licensing exam, they basically go to their dorm rooms, they hang out, they do a lot of stuff. And basically, oh well, I'll say basically again. Anyways, so after that, Bakugo basically goes up to Izuku or Deku and says, come outside, I need to talk to you about your quirk. And he goes outside with Bakugo. Bakugo tells him his theory on All Might giving Deku his quirk and stuff like that. And Deku agrees, is like, okay, he's right on the spot, so I shouldn't really hide it. So he's like, yes, that is true. And he basically puts his anger onto Deku. He starts to like, okay, you were the chosen one from All Might. And he basically says all this stuff like, oh, you were always behind me, but then suddenly you disappeared and came back, and you were even stronger than me, and then you even helped me out with this new Haki power, and I still wasn't even strong enough to protect All Might. And then Deku realizes that this is all about All Might's retirement, and he basically thinks that he basically faults himself for All Might's retirement. So Deku gets serious. He's like, okay, I'm gonna fight you. And basically this time Deku is the one who's gonna win, because not only does he have Conqueror's Haki wouldn't really work on Bakugo, because he has a really strong spirit and he doesn't really want to back out. And he knows the inner workings of Conqueror's Haki, so he knows how to counteract it. So all he just needs to do is basically just stay there and don't really basically have a weak will against Deku, so it won't work on him. And then the next thing, his armament Haki is weaker than Bakugo's, because Bakugo has only one. He only has armament Haki. He doesn't really have 3 Hakis that he needs to focus on. But I think Deku would be a little close, because no, I don't think Deku would be that close. So it would be like Luffy versus Katakuri. Is where Katakuri's armament Haki was stronger than Luffy, so Luffy was actually getting hurt because of his strong armament Haki, and his armament Haki was actually wearing out. But Deku wouldn't really need that, because he has a superior observation Haki. He can see like 10 seconds into the future, so it's kind of like Katakuri with a weaker armament Haki, but as the same, not 10 seconds, 5 seconds actually, I messed that up, but 5 seconds into the future. And he also has Conqueror's Haki, and he also has his quirk, which basically boosts his physical strength and full cowling, by the way. And shoot style, he doesn't really have shoot style. He already had it from the beginning, because he already had a fighting style before he got One For All from All Might, so he only just used his fighting style with One For All. So they had their fight. Deku superiorly beats Bakugo in a fight. His explosion doesn't do really anything because Deku knows every single move that he's gonna make 5 seconds before he makes them, and basically completely taking him down. And Bakugo just curses him. He's like, "Damn, you used your observation Haki. I can't really fight anyone who can see into the future." And he's basically like Night Eye. Night Eye can basically see into somebody's future, but way better extent. He can see like days or weeks in somebody's future, but Deku has the same ability, but only 5 seconds. So it might actually become into it might actually turn into Night Eye's ability, and his armament turn into like a stronger version of Kirishima's ability in the future. So yeah. So after that, they make ends meet, and All Might also comes into the battle and basically tells them all the situation. He explains to Bakugo about One For All, tells him the entire story that what happened with Deku and him and all that stuff. And he's like, "I don't really know anything about Deku from the day I actually met him. Nothing about his past or anything like that." Well, he does know how he trained and his grandfather trained him and all that Haki business, but that's all I know. So after this, Deku and Bakugo become really good rivals, or rivals that are supposed to be like rivals, not just like enemies. So this time they actually become proper rivals, and they go back. They basically get lectured by Aizawa, and he's like, "What are you kids were doing?" And then he basically asks them who threw the first punch, and Bakugo says, "Me." And then Deku says, "I also hit him hard and I won, so I should also get a punishment." So Deku actually gets 3 days of punishment and Bakugo gets 4 days. So basically Deku, after 3 days, they meet the big three. The big three basically go there. They do the fight thing, but this time Deku actually doesn't really get hit by Mirio, because he actually senses that, okay, Mirio is gonna go through me this time, so he doesn't really close his eyes, and Mirio is surprised by this, and basically punches Mirio in the stomach with a full armament Haki, and it actually hits him while he was permeating. So this is, if you don't remember, armament Haki is a good way to basically nullify quirks. So that is exactly what happened. So the other two big three were really surprised that Mirio did get hit by this first year, and then they're basically going at it one-on-one, and they're fighting each other, and all the others were like really surprised, like this guy is one of the big three and Deku is going head to head with him, and he's doing really amazing. So after the fight, basically Aizawa ends the fight because both of them were getting injured. Mirio was getting injured, Deku was getting injured, not that much, but Mirio was more injured, and everybody knew that the clear victor was Deku this time, because the sheer amount of injuries that Mirio had, like all the bruises from Deku's punches, were pretty bad. And basically Mirio asked, how were you able to dodge so many of my attacks? And he's like, "I can see 5 seconds into the future." He's like, "Wait, that's like Night Eye's ability. But what about that armament thing that you had on your arm?" He's like, "That's also my ability." And then Deku basically explains everything about Haki, and everybody was really surprised that Deku can actually see 5 seconds into the future. He basically developed his armament Haki to the point where he can see into the future now, not just like observe future attacks. So now everybody's really impressed by Deku. Not only he was the strongest person in their class, he's actually now the strongest person in the entire school. And since Aizawa actually told Todoroki that Mirio was the best person he thinks to basically be the closest to #1 even with the pros, now Todoroki actually thinks of Deku even highly, because he beat someone that was the closest person to #1 even with the pros, and came on top. So yeah. So after this, basically Mirio goes to the infirmary with the other two members of the big three. He basically tells them, "Sir Night Eye would really love to meet this Deku kid who equaled me and even basically defeated me some sort of way." And basically he goes there. Deku goes to his classes. After that, he goes to Bakugo after classes and basically trains with Uraraka and Bakugo. They're training with each other, and basically he's teaching Uraraka how to use and training her to basically use the future sight, and he's also training with Bakugo with armament Haki. He's not really teaching him anything because Bakugo has superior knowledge of armament Haki than Deku, so he's teaching him other things, but just giving him hints because Bakugo doesn't really want Deku to become stronger, and he won't be able to catch up to him after that. So he's only giving him hints and training with him. And that's basically end of the story. That is the end of this What If series. This is like It's not that sad. I really wanted to do something else after this what if series, but this is one of my longest what if series, and I'm really happy to finish one of my longest what if series. I stayed committed, not all the times, but I still did, and I finished it in time. Not in time, I went overboard. But yeah, I hope you guys like this what if series. If you want anything to do with One Piece or any other what ifs with One Piece, I would do that in the future, but that's going to be in the future. Make sure to like, because it really does help the channel out. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and get me to 10k, or let's just actually aim for 9k right now and 10k after that. So yeah, hope you guys like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and as always, Anime Junkie out.